my review of the Doors album Full Circle. It was released in 1972 and produced by the Doors. So yeah, my experience with this album is pretty similar to with Other Voices. I was kind of aware of its existence from reading reviews of it, and then I looked it up on YouTube. At one point I had all the songs for it on like my iPod before I had this CD copy, because like this CD with both of the albums, I didn't get this until like a couple years ago, probably like 5-6 years ago. I think it came out in like 2015. So like when I first heard of these albums, I don't even think they were like newer copies of it or CD copies you could get. I think I would have had to go like find an old vinyl. So yeah, I had kind of like listened to all the songs from both of these albums. I put them on my iPod at one point, and like I don't even think I had them all together, right? Like I think I had songs from Other Voices on Full Circle and vice versa. And so yeah, I didn't actually hear these albums the way they're meant to be heard until much later. But I think that this album is the one that, well, these two albums actually, Other Voices and Full Circle, are the ones my opinions have changed on the most since the last time I reviewed these albums. And I was kind of going into this album today expecting to give it a little bit more of a negative review than I did with Other Voices. And I know that that was my feelings last time, or at least I'm pretty sure that was the way I felt last time. I had listened to these both pretty recently in the last like few weeks, and I think that that was kind of my impression at the time, but really listening to this today, I'm not so sure that I don't like this one. Just a little bit better than Other Voices now. Like, I think it has some weaker moments, but I think overall it might be a little bit of a stronger album. It doesn't have anything on it that lives up to what I think is like the best song on Other Voices, Ships with Sails. But I think just overall, like, and sound-wise, this might be a little bit better of an album. They definitely tried something different here. Other Voices was kind of a continuation of the style from L.A. Woman, very like stripped down. I kind of think it was almost a little bit too much for that album. Like I feel like with them losing Jim and kind of pushing kind of weaker singers really to the forefront, maybe they should have tried to get just a better production on the album to kind of make up for the weaker voices, but they didn't. And anyway, kind of rambling, but on this album, they definitely went in a different direction production-wise. There's a bunch of like backing singers on here. They added a bunch of other musicians, and so they kind of almost, this is like the Jimless Soft Parade in some ways, I guess. And also Ray and Robbie as singers, I feel like on this album have improved. I don't know if it's just that they had been out singing more, or if it has to do with the production, but I just think both of their vocals sound quite a bit better on this album than they did on Other Voices. So the album opens with Get Up and Dance, a song by Ray and Robbie. Strong opening track. I think the playing's really good on it, which I mean, throughout this whole album, I think the band plays really well. Ray's vocal is pretty good on it. Like I said, I think that they both improved. I think Ray improved more. And he takes more of the lead vocals on this album, which I think also improves it. Like Robbie has, I think, like 2 or 3, which is about the right number for him, I feel like. So yeah, Get Up and Dance, good catchy opener. Strong playing from the band, good vocal. Second track is 4 Billion Souls. This one was written by Robbie, sung by Robbie, and like I said, I think he sounds better here. Still not the best voice, but I think he has improved somewhat here. Sounds a little more confident. Some really cool guitar on it. This was a song that I think would have been really cool if Jim had sang it. The third track, Verdilac, is a Robbie and Ray song. It's a weird song. It's got this like long saxophone part. The lyrics are kind of weird but entertaining. I've always liked it. Not like a huge favorite, but I do enjoy it. The fourth track, Hardwood Floor, is by Robbie, sung by Ray, which I think was the right move, letting Ray sing this one. It's got some really cool piano on it. Ray's vocal's really good. I like the way the backing vocals sound on this one. It's got a cool harmonica part. It's always been one of my favorite songs off this album. Really, even since like the first time I heard it, this was kind of a highlight for me. The fifth track, "Good Rockin'," is a Ray Brown cover, sung by Ray, and I like the guitar and keys on it. It's pretty good track. Sixth track, "The Mosquito," is one of the ones I kind of have a problem with, and it's written by the whole band. It was actually, I guess, their last charting single, and it's just not a great song as far as like the lyric part of it. It's sung by Robbie. It's just really goofy, just kind of stupid lyrics, and yeah, just never been a fan of that part. But the rest of the song, they kind of go on this long instrumental jam. And that part of the song is actually really cool. Like, all the playing's really good. It's got cool guitars, cool keys from Ray. Densmore's drumming's awesome on it. So I am kind of mixed about this song, where on like one hand it's got the really lame singing part, and then it's got all these really cool instrumental parts. So like, I don't hate it, but it's not one of my favorite things on here, and it's kind of like one of those songs that you'd almost be embarrassed to play in front of people because the lyrical part of it. Seventh track, "The Piano Bird," is by Jack Conrad and John Densmore. And this is a cool song, sung by Ray. I like the flute or whatever's going on throughout it. Densmore's drumming throughout the whole song is really cool. I don't know, it's a cool song. The eighth track, "It Slipped My Mind," is by Robbie, sung by Robbie. This one I didn't like for a long time, but it's grown on me. I think it's a pretty catchy song. I think Robbie's vocal's pretty decent on it. And then the ninth track ninth and final track, "The Peking King and the New York Queen," is by Ray. This has always been pretty easily my least favorite song on the album. I mean, just the title's like a mouthful, and it doesn't sound better when he like sings it as part of the song. Musically, I think it's kind of cool. It's got some cool guitar, cool keys and stuff. And really, like, the only part of it I really hate is there's these goofy like voices that keep saying stuff in this one part of the song, and it's just really cheesy, and I've always really hated that part. If they just like left that out, I'd probably be fine with the song. But that just really drags it down so much that really all I ever think of when I think of this song is like, it's got that really long, mouthful of a title that just sounds awkward when it's sung, and it's got those stupid voices like in the middle. But I mean, musically, pretty interesting. So if they just left out those voices, I'd be fine with it. But not a great way to close the album. And then the then there's also a bonus track that was included in the CD version. "Tree Trunk," which I believe was a single. It's by Robbie, sung by Ray. And I really like this one. I think it would have been probably better on the album than the last track, "The Peking King." It's got cool keyboards in it, cool guitar, good drumming. So "Tree Trunk's one of those songs that I liked it the first time I heard it. And I think that they probably should have put it on the album, like in place of either "Peking King" or "Mosquito." But I guess "Mosquito" was a hit, so some people like it. So yeah, Full Circle, kind of a weird album. Definitely like a transitional album. They were trying to go in a different direction, and I think that like they probably would have kept going, but from what it sounds like, Ray kind of was like, "Yeah, this isn't working," and left. But I do almost wish that they'd have kept going, because I think that Ray and Robbie were both getting better at singing. I think that they had gone in a pretty interesting direction for the most part on this album. And I would have just liked to have heard them continue doing more of that, and just to have more of their playing out there. I do think that this album might be a little bit better than other voices in some ways. I think that the production's definitely better, the singing's better, but it doesn't have like a highlight like "Ships with Sails." And the two tracks that I have problems with on here, I have more problems with than anything on other voices. So I'm not really sure yet, which one of these will be where when I do the ranking. But My opinion of this album is definitely improved. I think that it's a lot better than what people give it credit for, and really a pretty solid album overall, in spite of a few weak places. So I would recommend checking this out if you're a fan of all the Jim Doors albums and you want to go on to the other stuff and see what it's like. I think there's some cool playing on here and some catchy tracks.